to go with open statement or just us ask?
Whatever you want. We're excited to be back playing, man. Just looking forward to playing again. We thought we played well against Detroit, and our guys probably need more game experience. We've interesting start in terms of 3 games in 6 days, then having a little time to practice, which I thought was helpful for Detroit. We were off Monday, and so now we've had 2 days to try to get ready for Alabama A&M, and then we have obviously a big trip after that. So a lot going on here. Again, it'll kind of be another situation where we're playing 3 games in 6 days again. So it's been a quick start to the season.
Are you guys kind of where you want to be now after 4 games?
I don't think you're ever where you want to be in November, but I think we're probably where I expected us to be. I think I think this team has a chance to really improve, which is something you would hope with 7 new players that roles are going to continue to be defined, and just your team is going to have a desire to be coached and a desire to get better. And I think we still we've learned a few things about ourselves. I do think that it's been a little different from the Italy experience, where it was kind of just games all the time. You've seen certain guys like Tevin Mack has probably played better now than he even did over in Italy. And the games have been a little bit different in nature in terms of, the Detroit game was completely unique in that it was all 1-3-1 zone. And so it's just, I think we're still adjusting to our team. We're still adjusting to not having Nick Honor, because that's changed some things for guys. But I do like the way, this team approaches practice. And I think we've gotten better in certain areas, and we'll continue to get exposed in some, and we'll also continue to show that we do some things well, and that's probably normal for this time of year.
Obviously, you played plenty together over the summer, but with all these early games like you were talking about, is that good, do you think, for the guys?
Yeah, I do. I think it's been good. Obviously, losing the Virginia Tech game was disappointing. We played reasonably well in spurts and didn't close the game very well, and that's part of the growth of a young team. It really is. And but I think we've kind of settled back in and played pretty consistently these last 3 games. And again, that's the competition is going to continue to increase, and we've got to get better with it. And we've had some guys play well in certain games and not others. I think we're still looking for a couple guys to be consistently good every night. I think we have to have that a little bit, especially heading into league play. It's that's something that's it's hard sometimes, but you do need a couple guys that just you can count on them to play well. And if you're going to have a good team, that's regardless of opponent, regardless of what the other team does defensively, whether they're man, zone, trapping, pressing, double team in the post, trapping ball screens, that there's just a poise about you that it doesn't affect your play. And obviously that's probably going to come from our older players.
Hemingway, how much longer do you think he'll be out?
Yeah, this has been a pretty difficult sprain. I think it's going a little slower than we would like. I really don't know about a timetable. I'm guessing a couple more weeks. We hoped it would be like a 2-week injury, but I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a little longer. He's still kind of battling to be able to put weight on it. And, unfortunately, the high ankle sprains are difficult injuries. And he's been getting 2 and 3 treatments a day for, the better part of a week now. But it's still slow going.
You knew the freshmen would have to play early and often this year. Have you been pleased with what you've seen?
Yeah, reasonably pleased. I mean, there are times when I think they look very good, and pretty confident for young guys. And then there's times when they get a little bit of the big eyes and you know, get a little passive, and that's probably normal. But all in all, pleased with, you know, their competitive spirit. I think their competitive spirit is good, and you know, Al and Chase both, for young guys, they guard the ball pretty well. And I think that's been, you know, one of the things that we saw in Italy that we hoped when we recruited them. We thought that was going to be the case, but you're never 100% sure how much will they really be able to do it. And they were able to do it against some good guards over there, and they've been able to do it, you know, at this level. Now there's a lot of team defensive things that are more involved that they're not always successful with right now. They don't recognize a lot of the things, but just their initial ability to guard the ball and their desire to compete defensively has been really pretty good for young players.
Well, can you give us a scouting report on A&M and what you expect out of them?
Yeah, they've played primarily 3 smaller guards that are all pretty quick. Space you out and try to get to the paint, make plays for themselves or each other. They do have a big young post player that they throw the ball to inside when things break down and just kind of play off of him. Their 4-man Parham is a grad transfer who might be their best overall player. He's can make threes, he can drive it. He's kind of a Tevin Mack type undersized 4-man that shoots and drives and quick. And then defensively, they've done a lot of different things. They've shown some diamond press, shown some 1-2-2 back to a lot of 2-3 zone. They've obviously played man-to-man, so I would suspect we'll see a lot of different defenses, you know, and keeping the ball in front of us and guarding the ball, I think will be a real premium. If we get split, if they start getting inside us a little bit, we have to rotate, and they can hurt you on the boards and beat you in some other ways. So guarding the ball will be important in this game.
What do you want to see out of your guys tomorrow heading into Vegas?
You know, just nothing drastic. I just want us to keep getting better on things we're practicing. You know, a little bit of it is continuing to follow game plans well. I thought we showed improvement in the Colgate game. There were some things defensively that we did not do that we had spent some time on in practice, and we didn't recognize some situations, and that was a little disappointing. We gave up some baskets in areas that we had things set up to stop. In the Detroit game, I thought we did a much better job of, hey, this is what we're trying to do in the game defensively and executing that plan. And this is what we're trying to do against the 1-3-1 zone and execute our plan. We need to continue to understand the importance of that. Sometimes young players, they just go play. They've all been really good players for their, you know, since they were in 7th, 8th grade, they've been best players on their teams, and they just kind of get into these individual games and not understand maybe how much what they're doing affects somebody else, and whether it's team defense or understanding how to get other people's shots. And so that usually comes through what we're trying to do offensively and defensively. So as much as anything, it's just continuing to play better together and understanding how playing together is intertwined in being successful, and the importance of doing your job when you're asked to, because another guy's relying on you for his success. So just, you know, that kind of stuff, as much as anything, I think is where this team needs to continue to grow.
You've played in these early season tournaments like this before. Are there any benefits to kind of getting the guys?
Yeah, I think it's just nice to go travel somewhere different, get used to what it's like on the road. You know, usually there's very good competition in these events, and there's quick turnarounds. You know, that's one thing that, having spent a little time in Italy, having the quick turnarounds, you know, we should be a little more used to that than a team that hasn't ever done that before in their first month of their season. But you know, it's still going to take some getting used to. This will be the first time this year that we've taken this team on the road and you know, just kind of go through how we do things, you know, in hotels and walkthroughs and meetings and changing our game plan from one game to the next quickly. But I do like this. I think it's good for us. And certainly it's always good for exposure of getting your team away from maybe an area where you're used to playing and from, and playing somewhere else where some other people get to see you.
Any more questions?